Everyone stop repeating electric air and tell me what electric air is?
Electric air will get your heart racing, neurons sparking, and lips smiling. Join me, Tova, as I shock your ears with EDM's greatest hits. 5 out of 5 doctors agree 1 hour of electric air every week is just what you need to increase your energy and leave you feeling stimulated. Side effects may include uncontrollable mood swings, shuffling, and in some extreme cases, headbanging.
Too much headbanging, huh?
Dude, those side effects are serious. Seriously amazing.
So join me every Wednesday night at 8 for Electric Air on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Okay.
Yo.
Tell your friends about the Nassau Morning Madhouse. Hear what you're missing.
Check it out.
Check it out.
What is something that you did when you were younger that you'd never do again?
I wanted to tap dance. I wanted to learn how to tap dance.
So you got lessons?
We got one place, but I felt so uncomfortable because first off, I was the only guy there. But second off, I was the only white guy there. I was the only white guy. All these girls, they were like 5 years old, and I was like 11 at the time. And I was just like, I wanted to be the next Savion Glover, I guess. And then towards the middle of...
You know he's black, right?
I know he's black. That's another thing.
You're missing a little something, Izaki.
After hearing that, you're like, you know what? Nothing I can say will beat that.
Beat that.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse. Weekday mornings from 7 to 9. On the Voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
90.3 WHPC wants you to know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not. Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know you know. Your child has different needs at different stages of life, and that includes the car seat. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. You do so much to keep your child safe, but are you using the right car seat for your child? Go to safercar.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the Ad Council, and the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
We're back here on From the Press Box, right here on 90.3 WHPC. Also on the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn.com app. And then either way, you have to do a search on WHPC, and we're there. Yeah, we're there. We're hanging out. I am Rob Leonard. Joining me on the phone due to certain injuries is my brother Tim, award-winning sports writer. How are you, my brother?
Thank you, brother. Speaking of, I just wanted to real quick. I just saw this on online. Apparently, there's been an explosion at Port Authority.
Yeah, it happened at 7:19. They've already cleared out the area. They found the guy who did it.
Well, apparently they were talking about that it could have been a pipe bomb or something.
It was a pipe bomb. So
stay away from Port Authority, people.
Yeah. By the way, we wished our mom a happy birthday. We should wish our cousin Sean a happy birthday, who's also born the same day as Mom, though many
not December 7th.
Well, family law has made it now that Sean is now born December 7th, not February.
This was
December
a typo on the family calendar.
Well, also the person who did it thought it was December 7th. So,
well, there you
go. Sean had to correct him, but that in our family,
brotherly love there.
Just because you get corrected doesn't mean you're going to listen. As I know, dealing with you. So
as I know from dealing with my brother.
So I do know that. So it's a little bit of a family thing there. So anyway, we talked about the Giants. I felt bad for Josh McCown this week. I felt bad for him because
why?
Because first of all, this guy, he's a seasoned veteran. How's that for a phrase? But he won Player of the Week last week.
Cliche.
Yeah, it does. He won Player of the Week last week, and then what happens this week? He breaks his hand.
Breaks his hand in what was probably the worst Jets performance of the season.
Yep.
In fact, no, I'm gonna remove the word probably. It was the worst Jets performance of the season. They played a really bad Denver Broncos team and wound up losing 23-0. So that to me is without a doubt the low point of the season.
That's true, but at the same time, for a guy like him who's traveled around the NFL, not really staying with anyone, not really having a season really for himself.
Not really distinguishing himself.
Right, and this season, mind you, that the Jets weren't supposed to do anything, and he comes along and he has that season where he can say down the road, you know what? We had a pretty good season. If we had done this, this, and this, maybe we would have made the playoffs. Most people don't even make the NFL who try to get there, and he gets there as a backup, a side guy, whatever. And fine, and he gets hurt in a season where he's actually playing. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't mind the way he's been playing. I wouldn't mind if the Jets don't get a quarterback next year if they kept him.
Well, the Jets need to get a quarterback.
I'm not saying they don't, but if they didn't, I'm pretty happy with this guy right now. He seems to care. He wants to be here. That's two things that sometimes you don't find in a player.
Yeah, I'll give him credit for some of what has happened this season. Obviously, and we've talked about this several times. Nobody expected Josh McCown to do anything this year, and no. I said it when he was signed that he was more or less signed to kind of shepherd this franchise through what was supposed to be a 2-14 or 3-13 season. Right now, the Jets are 5-8.
5-8.
They've clearly won far more games than anybody expected, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to paint Josh McCown as a tragic figure. He certainly has overachieved this season.
Tragic is the wrong term. That would be a different thing. But here's a guy who wasn't expected much to happen with. Also, you know what? The Jets could have won 3 more games. That chance was there, and they kind of blew it. But if they had, they'd be 8-5 instead of 5-8. So
if they were, they'd be 8-5 or even 7-6 with a quarterback who just broke his hand.
Right. Well,
so,
that's true. Yeah.
Right at this point, the Jets are doomed.
Well, yeah.
And I know that we said that before the season started that the Jets were doomed. But right now, Bryce Petty is your starting quarterback.
I feel safe with him.
And Christian Hackenberg is now your backup.
I feel even better.
I don't know why.
I don't.
But that's the situation that the Jets are in right now. And after yesterday's game where they couldn't move the ball at all, where they were shut out by the Denver Broncos, which, as far as I'm concerned, Denver has been one of the worst teams in football all season. You had to be, if you're a Jets fan and you still had any kind of hopes for possibly getting into the playoff race, into the wild card race, you had to be disappointed yesterday. But this was pretty much what the Jets were supposed to be this season. But yesterday, that was just, it was a terrible performance.
Yeah.
And then later in the game, here goes Josh McCown walking off the field after he gets hit, and you noticed immediately and obviously that he was favoring his left arm, and this was after being hit in the right arm. I pointed that out to somebody yesterday, somebody at work, and I was like, well, wait a minute, he just got hit in the right arm. Why is he not moving his left arm? Why is he holding it still? And they were like, that's a great question. I don't know why. And then we find out later he's got a broken hand.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that he's going to play again, even though it's not his throwing hand. But you have to take snaps from center. How are you going to do that with a broken hand?
You can't. And also, let's say someone, some big linebacker guy lands right on top of you, and you can't do
exactly. It. The NFL is a league of large people. So any injury that you have, they will find it and they will hurt it more. So Josh McCown, like I said, he's had a good season, and especially for what was expected of him. The Jets offensive coordinator John Morton said, I believe it was on Saturday, that he wouldn't mind having Josh McCown back next season.
I wouldn't either.
And to be honest, I think if for nobody else, I think Josh McCown has earned a place with the Jets next season. But that being said, there are a lot of similarities here with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick came into the Jets kind of out of nowhere. Nobody really expected anything of him, and had honestly one of the best seasons a quarterback has ever had for the Jets. And everybody said, "Oh, we got to have Fitz back. We got to have Fitz back. He's our guy." And they signed him to a 2-year extension, and he proceeded the next season to come back and be the the mediocre to lousy quarterback that he'd been for pretty much his entire career.
Yeah, he did the wrong thing. Well, he'll never admit it, but he should have been very happy to sign. And he thought, well, this is my way to make some real money, which is understandable. But at the same time, he'd only done it for one season. Maybe the second season, you make that move or something. But I can see McCown. It's funny because every time I say McCown, I want to say McClown, but it's McCown.
Yeah,
well, it's just you see the ONW. I think he's been pretty good. And I think the Jets are just going to get better next year anyway. So.
I have no argument that he, like I said, he has been far better than what was expected. But the only reason that Josh McCown should be back with the Jets next season is to help mentor the first-round pick that the Jets make. And I'll tell you what. If I'm the Jets, the guy who I'm looking at and who could help them possibly, they might be a decent candidate for Baker Mayfield. And I said this last week. I don't expect Baker Mayfield to be a top 5 or 6 I think there's too many red flags with this guy that he should be, a super high pick.
Right.
Mayfield. I'll give you the things I like about him first. I love his arm. Kid's got a cannon. All right. He also to me is outstanding in the pocket. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't get flustered. He's able to move around in the pocket and find little tiny areas of space and not get crushed. I mean, obviously in the pro games, things happen faster, but I think he's going to be able to adjust to that. And
hello? We've lost Timmy. We'll take a break. Oh, there you are. Okay, we lost you for a second, brother.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. Your phone crapped out for a minute.
Huh. All right. When did I stop? I just was making a really good point there.
I don't know.
What I was saying is that I think that the Jets might have a decent shot at getting Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Okay. We heard that part.
And I think that would be a potentially good move for them. And the reasons being that I love Baker Mayfield's arm. I think the guy's got a cannon, and he can make the throws that need to be made in the NFL. And I also love how he is in the pocket, that he doesn't get flustered, he doesn't get rattled, and even though things happen faster in the NFL, that I think he'll be able to make that adjustment. Now, the negatives that come with Baker Mayfield are numerous. But that being said, I don't think he's Johnny Manziel bad, but he is, let's put it this way, he's already been arrested. That happened last year, and we talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago.
So you're trying to compare him to Johnny Mansfield?
I'm not trying there. I don't really want to compare him to Manziel because Manziel is a disaster. And I'm hoping that Mayfield doesn't fall into that same trap, and I'm hoping that he's got, enough people around him to say, look, here's the example from 2 years ago. Don't be this guy.
Is Johnny Football playing with anyone? I mean, could the Jets get him?
No, I wouldn't bother with him. He's a mess. He's a mess, and let let somebody else deal with that mess. If you bring Johnny Manziel to New York and to this market, it wouldn't. There's no reason to do it. He would just. I mean, it was kind of like bringing Tebow here. There was no reason to do it, and I don't know why the Jets did it, and it did nothing but antagonize sports writers.
Well, it's the same reason why the Mets signed Tebow,
Well, yeah, because they wanted to sell some merchandise. That was what that was about. But I think that when you look at Mayfield, there's such a kind of a warring set of circumstances with him. Because there is talent there, obviously. I mean, the guy he just won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday, so obviously there's ability. But when you're talking about a kid that really does need to grow up and mature, but also the other issue with him is his size. I mean, he's listed at 6'1", which means that when the combine comes around, he's probably going to wind up being measured realistically at about 5'11 3/4. So there's only two quarterbacks in the NFL.